Hi everybody, I'm Mike Cotillo, the founder of Athletes Against Bullying, and this is an exciting time of year. All across our nation, millions of kids are contacting each other, finding out what classes they're in. Are they in the same classes? Are they sharing the same lunch? Are they in the same homeroom? Talking about the upcoming fall events, whether it's athletic teams they're on, the different clubs, organizations, and what have you. They're really abuzz about what's going on and can't wait to get started. Unfortunately, there are millions of other kids who have the opposite effect. For them, the advent of the new school year is filled with the thought of the possibility of harassment, intimidation, and bullying. For these kids, the start of a new school year is fraught with fears, anxieties, and all types of tensions. The fear of being pushed around, verbally abused, going back on the radar of certain kids and becoming the targets of cyberbullying. For these kids, that and the prospect of isolation and not being included in any of those activities I mentioned earlier that those kids are excited about is something that is really weighs heavily on them. This message is not just for kids on both sides of bullying, it's for the adults in their life. Most people have young people in their life. Obviously parents, guardians, grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, and family friends. What you can do is you can tell these kids, this is a great time of year for you and you should be excited, but you should extend a kind gesture out to some of those kids who are coming back and struggling in this new school year. This is the time of year to nip it in the bud. There are certain things that we can't do much about. We know at Athletes Against Bullying that peer intervention and peer inclusion are effective, and we've seen that. Tell the kids in your life that while they're enjoying their own fall year, hopefully going into an adventurous and successful new school year, that they can also think of other kids and they can include them. It's incredible how far a fist bump, a high five, a handshake, a pat on the back, a little conversation during class or in the hallway can go to make kids who are feeling bullied and at risk part of the whole school experience. It's a simple thing to do. Now for you kids who are going back and you're feeling good about yourself and you're that first group and you may be leaders in your school or confident, you have your social group, please share your good fortune and blessing with those who are less fortunate. It takes very little effort. And I can tell you something, you not only will be a benefit to those kids that you make an effort to, a genuine effort, you'll be a blessing to yourself. You'll also realize that you can become a better person. Now, you may be a kid or a parent of a kid or a guardian of a kid that's saying, well, my kid is on the other end of that. The best advice I can tell you is for you kids that are going back and you are on the part of this where you're feeling, hey, I got nothing but dread. I don't feel included. I don't feel like I count. I feel isolated. My experience, backed up by statistics, say that you're less likely to be bullied if you can connect yourself with another group. It doesn't have to be an athletic team. It can be the band. It can be the debate club. It can be the theatrical season coming up of who's in the play. It can be any one of these things. There's a million different clubs, organizations, and activities. It doesn't even have to be an organized activity. Try to connect yourself with like-minded kids who have the same interest of yours. Because as I started to say before, the statistics prove, and unfortunately I know through personal upfront experience in the schools, that kids who are off on their own are more likely to be bullied. Can you imagine that? The fact that they're isolated on its own is unfortunate enough, and to add to that, these kids become targets. So if you have a child or a young lady or young man that is full of tension, that they know that they're going back, advise them to encourage them to connect, plug in, be connected with another group. And for those of you, as I said before, who are looking forward to your fall sports and your clubs and your plays and your organizations, draw these kids in. Let's make sure that this school year is not just a good year for some of the kids, but for all of the kids. We can do this. Step up, step in for at-risk and bullied kids. If you'd like to know more about our organization and how we might be able to help you or your family, you can look us up at athletesagainstbullyingusa.org. Have a great school year, everybody.